What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today, we are getting back into the XFL. We finally got some news, albeit a little bit of news, but finally we got some news. Hey, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Well now. All I can say is, finally, the XFL is coming back. That's right, the XFL is coming back. And if you haven't seen it already, which most of you have, it's been out now. That's in its second day being out with the information. The XFL is coming back in 2022. There is a video posted on the XFL's website, on the XFL's YouTube channel. Go ahead, watch that video. It's only a minute. Go ahead, watch it, then come back and check out this video if you haven't already. Now, let's get to it. The Rock tweeted out early on Thursday morning, and then they released on Thursday morning a video saying officially the XFL is back, baby. It is back. It's coming back in 2022. That is right. The XFL is going to be coming back. The XFL is back from the grave, which is just that alone in and of itself is just crazy. All of the ups and downs, the first time going away, coming back 20 years later, and then having just a big pandemic take it out, but it not die and it come back, and it's back. And I have to say this. Now, first, I'm going to come out and say, really like it, really enjoyed it. Now, if you saw my last video on the XFL and what, the whole politics thing with The Rock, I said I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm glad I did. This video was awesome. It had everything in it that we needed, and it was what it needed to be. I will say, when I first saw it and when I first watched it, and when I first heard the news, 2022, I was bummed. However, after I got over the fact of what's going on with it and that, I took a step back and looked at things, and I love it. I really do. You know me, I had been pushing for a 2021 season, but we're not going to get that. And I will give you my thoughts on why I've changed my mind with that. But I want to break down this video first because I think that it's a fantastic video. I think that it's great. What they did in a minute was excellent. They showcased the XFL. First and foremost, they showcased the XFL. Not that they're rebranding the XFL, not that they're doing anything different. They are doubling down on the XFL. They used the XFL branding. They used the same type of cinematics that they had before. They infused the new owners, Dany and The Rock, going back and forth, just bringing one-liner after one-liner after one-liner, and it was just fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was great. Every second of it was time well spent. It was done very well. Again, I think they hit perfectly on it. You didn't need to change it. The branding was good. It showcased everything that was the XFL and everything that is the XFL. And there are really three big things here that I really want to use. Three big quotes from the video that I want to use that really solidify everything for me of what this video stands for and what this video means for me. Quote, "We will give it every ounce of football, loving energy it can take, and then we will give it more." That's exactly what I felt about the XFL. The XFL did something that I didn't think that you could do. They took football that was spread out like this and condensed it in a shorter period of time, gave us much more action than what we're used to in football. I can tell you from the few college games that I've watched this year, they are just slower. It just is what it is. We got spoiled with the XFL. We really did with the fast pace. of the XFL and what it was doing in that with it. I mean, truly, this statement is just going to show you, listen, guys, we are doubling down on what we did. And I loved all the paces with it. I mean, when you talk to a football fan, the statements that they're making, the stuff that they're saying, like, we get it. We get the football culture. We understand where it's at and what they're saying, and they're giving us not only football lovers, but people who really love the XFL. They're giving us an opportunity, to really understand and look at what the XFL did and kind of, remember what it was, and hitting on all those points that if you're if you're a football lover or you're an XFL lover, that you're going to love and that you're going to like, and it's going to be great. I really do like that. For me, this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see the focus on football, the focus on the grind of football, what it is, what it's going to be. And listen, they put in there that it's going to be an opportunity, but at the end of the day, it's about football, and I love that. So that quote it stood out to me so much, because that's what all of us who love the XFL felt. We felt that the XFL took football and really tried to refine it. The idea of that comes to mind for me is like taking gold and you putting it in hotter fire to refine it, to make it better, to make it, in this case, more entertaining, to make it in this way, less downtime, more genuine football. And that's what I felt like what we had with the XFL. So I love the quote. I love that quote. Going on to another quote that really stuck out to me. For stories untold. It really goes back to the whole idea that Dany has been harping on in all of her interviews and everything that she's been saying. We're going after storylines. There are storylines that are to be had here. And, I really do feel like they understand what reality TV, that, the behind the scenes look, all that stuff means to our society. We eat that stuff up. We love that stuff. We want that. So they understand that there are a lot of stories out there that get missed, that get overlooked, that we do not see a lot of this stuff, and they're going to tell those stories. And I think it's going to make a big impact. It made a big impact for the XFL 2.0 when we got to see the stuff happening on the sidelines. We got to see the back and forth between coaches and players, and all of that type of stuff. And for them to take that and take it to the next level, I think would be great, to not only see that stuff, but also see, other things that are happening, take us into, other places of the football realm, the football world that we haven't seen before, open our eyes to kind of new things, about it. So I really like that they understand the storytelling aspect of things. Cause listen, guys, I'm a sucker for a good story. You give me a good story and I am hook, line, and sinker in on it. So I love that. And the last quote from the video that I want to touch on is potential unrealized. And in that part, they show Jordan Ta'amu throwing a football. And that sums it all up right there. Right there sums it all up. The potential that is unrealized. Listen, there's a lot of good football players out there that for one reason or another don't make it in the NFL. And one of those things that the XFL brought to my attention about this point, before I go on and tell you what I think about for 2022 and why I think it's a good deal and what I look for and all of that, this potential unrealized is huge. What the XFL did for me is open my eyes to realize that there are a lot of guys who are really, really talented and who are really, really good football players that either get an opportunity or don't get an opportunity because they're just in the wrong situation, that they're in the wrong offense. It's just the wrong pieces together, that these guys, if they were put in a better situation or a different situation with their skill set, would succeed. Whereas in this case, they're not succeeding because they're not put in the best place for them to succeed. Or they're just are circumstances beyond their control, i.e. the guy in front of them is a really, really good player, therefore they're sitting on the bench, never get a shot, or they're the guy that, is about the same as the other guy, but the other guy, they've got more invested in the other guy, so they let them go because the other guy they've got kind of tied up in a contract, or the other guy was the coach's draft pick, their big name draft pick that they brought in, so they've got to make that guy work as opposed to trying to bring in another guy who might, do something, who you just don't know. So there is that with it, and I thought that was a perfect point to put out there, but. Listen, it's XFL through and through. I thought it was a great video. I thought they did a really good job. They knocked it out of the park. It's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to come out, show the fans, we're here for you. We're not changing it. It's going to be the same. We're just taking it over, and we're excited. We're ready to work. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but we're ready to plow through it, and we're excited to get football back on the field in spring of 2022, and they did exactly what they wanted to. This is taking a lot of my reservations that I had in my other video and putting them to bed. So, those of you that watched that, and had criticisms for me, listen, it was just something and some observations that I saw. That's it. I can tell you that this video and what they put out so far, now granted, it's just a little bit, but it really is moving things in a really, really good direction. And another thing that's really been moving things in another good direction is Jeffrey Pollock has done a fantastic job. He's been kind of the guy behind the scenes that's been holding the glue all together, one of the few remaining from the XFL 2.0 staff, and to keep him on, I think is a really, really good thing. And it looks like he's going to stay on with that. So that's a very, very good thing. He's done a lot of good things for the league. And, a lot of credit goes to Oliver Luck. And I think Jeffrey Pollock needs to get more credit than what he gets for putting the XFL together and doing what he's done with the league. So with all that, I think that that's a really, really good, quiet move that's happened. And I hope that, they continue on down the road. Right now, they're looking really, really good. Now, turning my attention to the 2022 is when we're coming back. 2021 is when I really wanted it to happen. And it's probably a good thing that it didn't, because all of sports are starting to come back now. Whereas we were thinking we weren't going to have sports in football especially, in, 2020, now it's looking like, that we're going to have sports 2020 late and even transpire and even filter over into 2021. So for the XFL to hold off and wait, I think is a good thing, because, you might have a hard time putting things together. And that's part of the problem here. So really what happened is that, yes, they bought, it's been 2 months now, really, since they got the actual league, or roughly about 2 months. But what's happened is they've been kind of held up in almost litigation, and then really they've only had full control of the league for about 2 weeks. So for them to put this together and to do that in 2 weeks I think is a good thing, and for them to do that. And so from where I initially thought the XFL could go and could put things together to now, it's just going to be really difficult to do that. So I think setting their sights on 2022 is a really good thing. And the other thing about it, 2022 sounds like it is far away for the XFL, but in all reality, it's only 16 months away. So when you start putting things together, you start looking at this and, all of a sudden, we get through the holidays and we're a year away, which, lining up coaches, lining up players, and all of that, and, where teams are going to play, 16 months seems about right for me. If they're already ahead of the game from where they were, when they started for XFL 2.0. They've got a lot of the things established, and it seems to me that they're planning on keeping those established things established. Now, they might change some things here or there, and we'll see how they start bringing in the new personnel and the new people with it. But 16 months seems to be the good thing for me. Go through, get your staffs hired, get your coaches on board, and then really start to work in, for the players and the things like that. I do want to go back to that whole potential unrealized. This is a huge, huge comment, and I really, really like it. They really need to hammer this home, and they really need to do that. Give the guys who haven't had a chance and an opportunity to play on the field, because those are the guys that are going to make your league. And listen, I thought Josh Johnson was great last year in the games that he played, but he's not going to be that guy that is going to take your league and take it to the next level. What it's going to be is your PJ Walkers and your Jordan Te'amus. Jordan Te'amu and Philip, or PJ Walker, they are going to be the guys that are really going to set your league where it needs to be, because those are your success stories, and those are your guys that are going to make that XFL look more enticing for young, talented players to come play a year or two in the league, show your skills off, show you can do what you're going to do, and then go get paid. So I really do think that this is a really good opportunity for those guys who really haven't gotten a shot and have been overlooked to really get their shot, get their opportunity, make stars out of themselves, and really propel this league forward. I really, truly believe that. I think that it's good. I think it's a really good timeline. We'll definitely dive into that in videos coming up and that with it, especially as more information comes out. But right now, I'm totally excited, and I can't wait for 2022. The question, as always, is, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section. I'd love to continue the conversation there. All right, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.